Number 11, Cincinnati's jumped out to a 9-0 lead. Big reason, Kyle Washington. Coach Cronin says that he's one of the most self-motivated players that he's ever coached. He's got a huge basketball IQ, and what a role he's had in his first season at Cincinnati.
And he's coming off a career high against UConn with 27. He showed you a little bit of everything. His ability to score inside, his ability to step out and knock down the jumper, much like he's done in the early parts of this game. Kyle Washington gives opposing coaches a lot of headaches. I think UCF is going to have to go zone. I don't think they have a choice.
Markey even had a career-high 17 rebounds against Penn State. So this is a guy in his first season in the American that can really do it all. UCF, they've struggled shooting early on. 0 for 4 from the field. They've really been stifled by this Bearcats defense.
And they need to get B.J. Taylor better looks. UCF's leading scorer has been quiet so far.
Taylor fires it up and hits a big basket. Maybe not a good look, but it works.
On cue.
B.J. Taylor leads UCF 17 points his average a game.
And here's the zone. It looks fancy. It's just a 2-3. The wings will play high. Soft spots are the free throw line and the short corner.
7 of the 8 shots taken early on by Cincinnati have come from the outside, make it 8 of 9, and Taco falls there to get the board. Is that the Taco fall factor?
Well, they're going to have to zone. There's just nobody for him to guard man-to-man in this game. This time the foul's on the other 24 inside, Kyle Washington.
It'll be the first time Washington.
I just don't think opposing players really have an understanding about Taco Fall until they see him.
Johnny Dawkins, 7th head coach in men's basketball history at UCF. Spent the last 8 seasons at Stanford with the Cardinal. They had 5 postseason appearances, and man, he's really changed the mentality in Orlando in his first season. 15-8. We told you the 6 wins in the American. That matches the most by a UCF program in their history, their short history in an American. Of course, there's a lot of basketball still left to be played. Gary Clark missed the basket, but Jacob Evans is there with the offensive board. And Taco Fall can't come down with a rebound. Once again, it's Gary Clark.
Alternating possession, I think, goes back to Cincinnati. We talk about the beauty of Johnny Dawkins's 7'6" center, Taco Fall. Not necessarily the shots he blocks. Yeah, he blocks a lot of shots, but he alters so many and just changes the way the game is played block to block.
4 offensive rebounds by Cincinnati, and it goes and converts into a Kevin Johnson 3, and the Bearcats lead it by 10.
The biggest change in Cincinnati in the last 2 years, their offense is catching up to their defense. They can score on you.
They get it into A.J. Davis, and he turned it over. Another turnover. It's the 4th turnover of the game for the Knights.
Well, we talk about the importance of Taco Fall being on the floor. Take a look at what UCF has done. They have taken their length and made it their strength. Ranked 1st in the country in field goal percentage defense, 9th in three-point percentage defense. They're going to have to start doing a better job guarding the arc right now.
What a start. Copain for 3, doesn't go. Rebounded by A.J. Davis, but they've been firing up threes early on, and Cincinnati off to a very good start. Chad Brown kind of taking the spot inside.
Another turnover
for UCF. Yep. You know, you think about the flip side of UCF taking down Memphis over the weekend. The one thing that they did very well, they took care of the basketball. They moved it very well early on, and I think Johnny Dawkins felt that they were moving in the right direction offensively going into this one.
Yeah, but this Cincinnati defense is a different animal altogether. The way that they pressure the ball, the way that they deny one pass away, and they do it all without fouling. That has been a real staple of Mick Cronin and his defensive scheme.
Moore stepped out of bounds UCF's A.J. Davis. It'll be Cincinnati basketball with 15 to shoot. Think about a player like Copain, third in the nation in assist to turnovers. Really, we talked about at the onset, the contrast of these teams of how well Cincinnati takes care of the basketball. You're just not going to see a lot of turnovers tonight by the Bearcats. Matt Williams called for his first personal foul. And three-point look by Evans. And a board by B.J. Taylor. He's coming off a bunch of 20-point games. He scored over 20 points the last 4 contests. But so far, the Bearcats have really kept an eye on him. He's got the only basket of the ball game, spinning to the hoop, and he gets it off the glass. He's really had to work hard, though, for his 2 baskets.
Again, the ability of Taylor, he's got great upper body strength. He doesn't mind challenging the bigs, and he logs a lot of minutes. He's really the Knights' only true point guard.
Taylor, redshirt sophomore, received a medical redshirt a year ago. But right now he hasn't been able to stop the bleeding turnover-wise. The Knights have turned the ball over 5 times in the first 7 minutes.
Can UCF, who is a good rebounding team, rebound out of this zone?
10 to shoot. Evans feeds it inside more with a turnaround jumper. Comes up short. 5 to shoot. Gary Clark was there with a pickup, but couldn't hit the turnaround jumper. Cincinnati's missed their last 4 shots now. And Taylor continues to try to make it the B.J. Taylor show. Down the lane, draws the foul.
High ball screen for B.J. Taylor, UCF's leading scorer. When he comes off this screen, watch the hesitation and then the blow by. More bodies Taylor all along the way. And B.J. Taylor goes to the free throw line. 74% on the year.
Quandre Moore picking up his first personal foul. B.J. Taylor playing a lot of minutes. He scored in double figures 14 of the last 16 games. And look at, he is among the best, averaging, he's almost getting a full game out there every time he's out. Not a whole lot of breathers, right?
Yeah, he will not be off the floor very long. Now, what do we have now? We have Cincinnati 12 and Taylor 6.
Cincinnati jumped out to that 9-0 lead, but they've hit just 2 of their last 13 shots.
I like the way Cincinnati moves the ball without putting it on the deck.
And that is their first shot that is made inside the 3-point arc. And Kyle Washington, he's got a big night already with 8 points, 3 of 5.
Now that's the soft spot of the zone. That free throw line area. Oh, nice little pivot by Chad Brown.
Chad Brown, the sophomore. That's the thing that's so dynamic, Mark, this year about this Cincinnati team is they have so many different weapons that can hit you on any given night, right?
Oh, no question. We talk about diversity and winning. How diverse are you in your ability to win games? Cincinnati, off the charts. How about Kyle Washington?
He's got double figures already.
And the ball comes out of his hands in that little baby hook a little sideways. He's a left-hander. He's like throwing a curveball at you.
Kyle Washington in double figures for the 17th time this year, and he's done it in the first 8.5 minutes.
We talk about the diversity of a Kyle Washington coming off his career high. First, the soft spot in the zone. It's the little baby hook, and he repeats. Cincinnati on top.
Ah, yeah. Doubleheader night. East Coast, West Coast. But which is the best coast? In the East, one of sports' greatest rivalries. But then there's the edge of your seat West Coast. You know what? Don't worry. You don't have to choose. We're going coast to coast, baby. 'Cause we gon' blow your mind.
Sonic Blockbuster this Thursday. North Carolina, Duke, Oregon, UCLA, and of course Johnny Dawkins. He has been a big part of that Duke-UNC rivalry. He's got 3 wins. He talks about the 1986 win. He really enjoyed that when they won the outright ACC championship during the regular season at home.
He actually looks like today he could still hoop a little bit. But he didn't have any trouble recalling, when we talked with him earlier today, 2 of those wins against North Carolina.
Think about his
Does
time.
that game ever disappoint? I mean, there's certain things. It's like the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, or going to see Earth, Wind, and Fire in concert. They never disappoint. That game never disappoints.
Dawkins a chance to guard Michael Jordan back in the day. How special do you think that was for him?
Well, yeah, he talked about that because, anybody that touched Jordan when he was playing, I had the pleasure, or the mispleasure, if you want to call it that, of coaching against him at one point in time. It's just special. You feel like you have touched at one point in time one of the icons of the game. Now, can Johnny Dawkins settle his team down? They've gotten a little bit better mileage in this zone than they did the man-to-man. Taco Fall back in the game.
Well, they've kind of weathered the storm. Cincinnati jumped out to a 9-0 advantage. Taco Fall tried to get a hand on it, and B.J. Taylor's going to come down with a loose ball. All the success for Cincinnati shooting the basketball has come from the outside, but how about the shot differential early on? As you see, A.J. Davis looked like he was stripped of the basketball, but they're going to call a foul.
Now, Davis is one of the players who has really struggled with his handle, especially in league play. 16 assists, 31 turnovers. But Johnson guilty of the reach. I thought, why isn't that a shooting foul? I thought he was on his way up.
Moomin gets it into Taco Fall. You're not going to expect a shot there, but he's gotten a lot better offensively, making some passes and basically screens for B.J. Taylor on the outside, who misses the three-point look. Kevin Johnson picked up his first, kicks it over to Justin Jennifer. Washington's got 10 of the 16. He's got the basketball right now.
Excuse me, Bernie. The zone allows Taco Fall to do what he does best, protect the paint.
Long shot for Jaron Cumberland, the freshman from Williamton, Ohio. Cumberland's been in double figures 3 out of the last 4 games. Loose ball on the ground. Taco Fall says, I got it, and he calls a timeout.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of taking a timeout to save the possession with 10 minutes to go in the first half. I do love the activity by Fall being the first on the deck. We talk about Taco Fall. I didn't think he was a project last year. Watch the skill set for a guy 7'6", not only offensively scoring, but his ability to find teammates, the little pin moves, this pivot to score. Yes, he blocks a lot of shots, he alters a lot of shots, but Taco Fall's skill set is a lot higher than what I think people give him credit for.
Well, offensively, scored in double figures 15 times this season, and 3 out of 4 shots he's going to put in the bottom of the basket. That's second best in the country. But, Coach Johnny Dawkins talks about the conditioning in the offseason. That's been the real key for him, because I feel like when he's active defensively, that's where he is the biggest help for this UCF team.
Cincinnati with yet another foul. This is one thing Cincinnati does not do. If you're a Knight fan, though, you've got to be concerned because of the turnovers, because of Cincinnati's ability to offensive rebound. The Bearcats have taken 20 shots. UCF has only taken 8. That's 12 more shots, and add another turnover.
They can't get it to Taco Fall. Another turnover for the Knights. It's their 7th of the basketball game.
But the zone has got UC a little off-kilter offensively.
B.J. Taylor thought about going to the basket. He'll pull it out. The Knights are in it despite the fact that they fell behind 9-0 to begin this game. And we told you Matt Williams, he likes all the spots, but he hasn't hit any of the shots from the outside. He's 0 for 3 to start this basketball game. Earlier this month, he hit 11 three-pointers in one game against USF, scoring a career-high 38 points. So this is a guy that you got to watch the heat check, because when he gets hot, he really is hot.
Again, that's a beautiful possession offensively. Soft spot of the zone, makes it 2-on-1 on the backside.
Rivalry week rolls on Saturday with 14th ranked Florida State in South Bend to take on the Irish at 6 p.m. Eastern. Then we'll take you to McEwen Pavilion, the site of this week's College Game Day for #1 undefeated Gonzaga and #20 St. Mary's. Arch rivals is an understatement. Dogs versus Gales. Both games are on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN.
I've had a pleasure of seeing Gonzaga in person this season. I'm just saying, I think this is Mark Few's best team. It's his deepest team I know. And when I talk about diversity of winning, I talked about Cincinnati. Gonzaga's much the same way.
There's Taco Fall getting going, doing what he does best. He gets the offensive board, he gets the putback, and the Knights with a big basket down by 6. Jennifer to Troy Copain. Not a whole lot of action inside.
Taco Fall can impact the game on both ends of the floor, sometimes by doing the dirty work on the glass. Watch the way he gathers and goes straight back up. Pretty impressive for the young sophomore.
You know, Mick Cronin talked about a year ago with Taco Fall in there at 7'6". It almost took Cincinnati a half to just kind of figure out what they wanted to do with the big man on there. As we see, the bank is open for Justin
from
Jennifer.
The corner. Oh my goodness.
It's all about the 3 ball. 5 of the 7 shots have come from beyond the arc for Cincinnati.
There's the look at the three-point numbers. Cincinnati shooting a lot of threes. See, I think Matt Williams overthought that. He was open.
3 to shoot, and A.J. Davis can't knock down the 3. UCF 0 for 5 from three-point range to start. Good ball movement again for Cincinnati, and they're leader in scoring early on. Washington, a little jump hook coming up short.
But he challenged Taco Fall, who alters yet another shot.
Now Williams driving to the hoop. Cincinnati will have the basketball.
Well, folks, sometimes the bank is open, but very rarely from the corner. Justin Jennifer banks off the top of the glass. Cincinnati up 9.
Number 11, Cincinnati leading 21-12. They are a perfect 10-0 in the American, but not to say, Mark, that they haven't been tested this year, even on their home floor.
This was the first SMU-Cincinnati game that was played at such a high level. The two teams combined only had 11 turnovers. SMU made 9 from beyond the arc. Cincinnati made 12 in that 2-point win. And guess what? They're on a collision course for the rematch Sunday at Moody.
Yeah, the top 2 teams in the American, probably the biggest game this season in the American will be Sunday at 4 p.m. on ESPN. We'll have it for you.
I'd like a ticket, please, to that game. If you can get in touch with your contacts and get me, it doesn't even really have to be on the front row, maybe the first 3 rows, if you don't mind, at Moody.
Well, that's what Cincinnati talked about. You think about, they've won 22 straight at home, 10-0 in the American, 14-0 at home this season. And when you start to get on those type of streaks, you know every time out you're going to get your opponent's best, no matter where they fall in the standings.
Again, Cincinnati working the offensive glass.
Jennifer for 3. This time doesn't need the bank.
Of course, nothing but net. Jennifer, 36% on the year.
It's all about the 3 tonight for the Bearcats. 6 of their 8 made field goals have come from the outside, and they lead by 12. And on the other side, we see Matt Williams finally get going.
Yeah, that won't make Mick Cronin happy. Falling back in transition D. Williams was able to see the rim for the first time.
Williams has been just about as consistent as anyone in the American in double figures, 22 of 23 games. He averages almost 4 3-pointers made per game. That's 6th best in the country. He's got his first here as Jennifer drives to the hoop. Nice give off, and Jacob Evans, the sophomore, is there to get it off the bank and get the bucket for Cincinnati.
Yeah, but I love the movement without the basketball. So many times players want to just watch the guy with the ball.
Chad Brown inside. And the loose ball picked up by Gary Clark. Clark's kind of the unsung hero for this Bearcats team as they see Washington inside with a jam. Cincinnati taking advantage of Taco Fall on the bench. Washington's got 12 to lead all scores.
Well, that's part of the Cincinnati up-tempo offense.
Cincinnati with their largest lead of the night. And not a good shot at all.
And right now,
Matt Williams.
The Cincinnati defense is dictating the quality of shot. Wow!
Oh, wow! Jacob Evans with the finish. And Cincinnati's on a 12-3 run, leading by 15.
I didn't even think that was that great of a pass.
Evans somehow snuck in the back door. And UCF reeling with 5 minutes to play in the first half. And a block down low.
Watch as Jacob Evans goes flying. But before we see that, let's go back to Jennifer, because here's Evans moving without the basketball for that finish, left-handed off the window. Same look, different angle. Notice the way he takes the contact and keeps his eyes on the prize. And then he catches this with Washington in transition with the flush, beating UCF down the floor.
Knights with a three-point basket, just their second of the basketball game, made by Williams. He's got 6 points now. And you see Taco Fall back on the floor. And how much closer were the Bearcats able to get with Fall on the bench?
That's Trey Scott knocking down the jumper. He also trying to bring Taco Fall away from the rim.
Came off the bench, had 9 points against USF. Taco Fall kicks it back out, gets B.J. Taylor a good look. And Taco Fall is there to clean it up.
And Mick Cronin, Kyle Washington wanting over the back.
Isn't everything over the back at 7-6? Cincinnati, they've made their last 5 shots. And a block by Taco Fall on the drive by Trey Scott.
How about the ability to recover by Taco Fall?
B.J. Taylor driving to the hoop, and Taylor is going to be fouled. B.J. Taylor to the free throw line, but it's all about Cincinnati up by 12.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the new Volkswagen Golf All-Track, soon to be everywhere.
Back in studio alongside Dino Gaudio, I'm Brandon Fitzgerald. Coming up on the ESPNU Halftime Report, the latest bracketology in the American Conference. Baylor survives on the road. What's happening in Cincinnati?
Cincinnati doing it on defense and rebounding and from behind the three-point line.
All right, Bernie and Mark. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Well, guys, you think about Cincinnati, 11 teams have made the NCAA tournament 20 times in the last 25 years, and Cincinnati almost assured, obviously, that they're going to get back to the big dance. This is one of their best programs, but I think that they're one of the most consistent programs in the last 25 years as well.
BPI and RPI both in the top 20. Joe Lunardi in his latest has them at number 4. Quality wins at Iowa State, SMU, and Xavier. They have no bad losses. Their strength of schedule, 85. And I think if they're a top 4, they may get sent to Indianapolis, which would obviously help Mick Cronin and his team. They know, Mick Cronin and his staff, they know that they're going to be judged, rightly or wrongly, by what they do in March. They're already there comfortably. They're in the big dance. Now it'll all be determined about matchups and survival.
But they've got their 7th consecutive 20 or more win season. That in itself is impressive as you see Johnson shoot up for 3. Another offensive board for Trey Scott. It's been the story tonight. It's a UCF team that's typically really winning that rebounding battle.
You see Kyle Washington, he really didn't want to shoot that last shot. He knew he was at a disadvantage.
UCF plus 11 typically in the rebound margin. They're -3 right now in this game with 3 minutes to play. That shows you how well Cincinnati is rebounding the basketball. As Jacob Evans, he's got 6.
What a catch by Evans, though. That pass was behind his head.
Knight's able to break the pressure. Down 12 with 2:40 to play. They try to feed Taco Fall, and he'll take that all day long.
I love the way Taco Fall, though, anticipated the pass and released to go get the ball. The best I have ever seen at pinning your guy and releasing, Danny Manning.
Cincinnati takes a timeout. Taco Fall, he's got 6 points. His footwork is so much better this year.
Watch the way he impacts the game. He does not block that shot, but he certainly alters it. And then on the offensive end, he pins his guy and releases. The pass is on point. Taco Fall with the one-handed catch and the two-handed schwack'ems. And UCF just kind of being the hang-around team here in the first 20.
3 for 3 from the field, 4 boards and a block. Just another night if you're Taco Fall. He's got 9 double-doubles this season.
A very nice, well-spoken young man.
Life is one of the tallest 40 human beings on the entire planet. And right now the tallest basketball player in NCAA hoops.
UCF back to the zone.
And they find some spots with Gary Clark, but he comes up short. But another offensive rebound, this time by Washington. 3-point look does not go for Copain.
Boy, that's when you get the best threes, after offensive rebounds. The defense is stressed.
They almost picked B.J. Taylor's pocket. 2 minutes to play in the first half.
What the battle inside. Washington fronting.
Tank Effiani, we haven't called his name much, but Taco Fall comes in, gets the board, puts it back. He's got a 4 for 4 night, and quickly Taco Fall's got 8 points.
Well, the challenge for Washington, yes, he can bring Fall away from the basket, but he's having to guard Fall, having to try and keep Fall off the glass. That's a tall order, no pun intended.
Minute and a half to play. 5 to shoot. This is Evans for 3. Fires up an air ball. It's going to be a shot clock violation in the Knights. Look at this. Chance to chip away and maybe make it a 2-possession basketball game.
There is no question that the zone has changed the dynamics of the game.
Cincinnati led by as many as 15, but now the Knights are on an 11-4 run. Final minute of the first half. Matt Williams looking for some help, gets it back to B.J. Taylor. 10 to shoot. Taylor, Effiani draws the foul, and they bailed him out with 4 on the shot clock.
Yeah, bailed out is the correct term. Knights had nothing going late in the possession. Effiani driving baseline side to his left, picks up the foul. Here's an opportunity, Bernie, for UC, the Cincinnati Bearcats, to go 2 for 1 offensively if they hurry to close the half.
Bring Troy Copain back onto the floor. Effiani broke out of a 1 for 9 slump over the last 2 games with 9 points over the weekend against Memphis.
And you got to go quick if you're going to go 2 for 1.
Fiani with both, and it's a 2-possession basketball game. Those pesky Knights are in it after trailing by as many as 15. Do you go after Fall here? As Copain, outside look, and Taco Fall with a board. And now the Knights can play for the final shot.
Yeah, that would have been hard to do against the zone. I'd look for B.J. Taylor, keep the ball in his hands, get maybe a late screen to create.
B.J. Taylor and UCF are going to play for the final shot. Taylor driving to the hoop, and it is blocked in a big way. Kyle Washington doing it all in the first half.
Wow. Talk about a rim protector. It's always the help guy who gets the highlight blocks. And the left-hander swats that away with ease. Plenty of time to still get a good look here.
Second block of the game for Washington, 4 to shoot for the Knights. B.J. Taylor tried to draw the foul, comes up short, but the Knights, they trail by as many as 15, but they end the first half on a 13-4 run. But how about the first half by Kyle Washington, leading the way with 12 points, 2 from the outside to go along with 2 blocks, as Cincinnati goes on to a 34-28 advantage. We'll now send it to the studio in Charlotte as we've reached the half here in Cincinnati.
Bernie, thank you very much.
Presented by Wendy's.
Well, a top 5 matchup in the Queen City tonight in the American. Number 11 Cincinnati. They scored the first 9 of the game. They led by as many as 15 as they look to remain unbeaten in the American. But it was taco time on a Wednesday night. Taco Fall with 8 points. The Knights have been resilient, cutting the deficit to 6 as we get started, except for the start of the second half. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Alongside the coach Mark Wise, Bernie Gunther with you here inside Fifth Third Bank Arena in Cincinnati. It was the Kyle Washington show to begin this contest, Mark.
Took advantage of the Taco Fall matchup on the pick and pop knockdown, not 1 but 2 from bonus land. He also has a great touch in that mid-range area, that left-hander, but he also can score down in that block-to-block area with the little baby flush there. But as the half went on, Taco Fall impacted the game on both ends of the floor. He got on the offensive glass. He had 3 of those. He is a rim protector supreme, this time swatting off the glass. But he also has the ability to establish an inside presence in that high rent district. And when you take a look at the numbers from the first 20 minutes, there are a couple of things that stick out to me. One, Cincinnati made 6 of 18 from beyond the arc, but UCF only turned the ball over 6 times. They turned the ball over 5 times in the first 5 minutes. They only had 1 miscue the rest of the half, and that's one of the reasons why they were able to chip into this Cincinnati lead.
Second half from Cincinnati. Bernie Gunther, Mark Wise, our entire ESPN crew. 2 top 5 teams in the American. And Taco Fall did his best to keep it from going out of play, but it'll be Cincinnati basketball.
I love the fact Copain went over to help Taco Fall get up off the floor. Of course, Copain, a candidate for the Senior Class Award.
Wasn't a good first half
nationally.
for Copain.
No, he didn't shoot the ball particularly well and hasn't shot the ball as well this season as he did a year ago.
Copain was 1 for 8 from the field in the first half. Last season he led Cincinnati in 15 game scoring. This season only 3 times. His roles changed a little bit as that one's going to be last touched by Jacob Evans. It'll be UCF basketball.
And just as we had bragged on UCF, their first possession was a turnover, and that was a near turnover.
Well, they felt after their win against Memphis, which was just the second time they'd taken down the Tigers in program history, that they'd really righted the ship, if you will, offensively. They moved the basketball a whole lot better. They took care of the basketball, but they're going up against an elite defense in Cincinnati tonight on the road, a team that does not lose, as you see Jacob Evans just snatch it right away. Another turnover for the Knights. here to begin the second.
Again, another turnover. A.J. Davis with a poor decision.
Gary Clark, he's 0 for 4 in this basketball game, missing from the corner.
That's danger.
We saw Matt Williams with 2 made 3-point buckets, the only 2 made 3-pointers of the game. On the flip side, Kevin Johnson for 3. That's been the story for Cincinnati. They've made 7 3-pointers in this basketball game.
And pushing the ball in transition. Almost a 6-point swing, really. Williams misses the 3. Johnson makes the 3.
Effiani, rebounded by Taco Fall, kicks it out to Davis. Davis with a wide open look for 3. The other way. There's a way for Troy Copain to get started getting that good look, drive into the hoop.
I agree. Again, it comes in transition. Cincinnati, I think one of the myths about the Bearcats is that they don't run. That couldn't be further from the truth. They like to get out and go. Mick Cronin likes his team's approach here in the second half.
Ah, yeah. Doubleheader night. East Coast, West Coast. But which is the best coast? In the East, one of sports' greatest rivalries. But then there's the edge of your seat, West Coast. You know what? Don't worry. You don't have to choose. We're going coast to coast, baby. 'Cause we gon' blow your mind.
What a night tomorrow on ESPN, a Sonic blockbuster doubleheader, and we're going to get a chance to see some elite players, including Lonzo Ball. Season he has had for UCLA, second in the country in assists per game, and is really one of the top players that we are going to get a chance to see all season long tomorrow night.
I think he's going to be one of the 2 or 3 players in the country that will fight out for that Wooden Award. The finalists were announced earlier today. Lonzo Ball, Markelle Fultz, both on that list. And if that game, the UCLA-Oregon game, if the rematch is as good as the first one with that buzzer beater, everybody's going to be in for a treat.
Well, the Knights, they're down to just 1 timeout remaining in this entire basketball game, trying to get things flowing offensively. They've turned the ball over 4 times in the second half. In the first, we haven't even hit 3 minutes mark.
Just like they did in the first 20 minutes. Gary Clark hesitated on the 3. Go ahead and shoot the ball in rhythm. See, the ball is sticking way too long.
Effiani in traffic gives it off to Davis with the left hand, and he gets it to fall.
And caught a break there. Effiani had nowhere to go, blindly threw the pass, but Davis bailed him out.
Davis led the Knights in scoring a season ago, averaging 12 points a game, but his role kind of different this season. Early in the season, he missed the first 5 games because of a hand injury. Just really hasn't gotten going. Copain for 3.
Again, another hesitation.
But the big news for UCF is they got B.J. Taylor back after missing the entire season a year ago. Taylor with 8 points in this one tonight.
And with all due respect to Taco Fall, now Gary Clark's gun shy, see, after missing 2. With all due respect to Taco Fall, the best player on the floor is Kyle Washington.
Copain in traffic. And Effiani deflected it over to Taco Fall for the board. Copain just 2 of 11 in this basketball game.
That's too deep.
They feed the big man, and he's stripped of the basketball by Washington. Another turnover for the Knights. 5 turnovers in the second half. Out wide, Kevin Johnson for 3.
When you talk about Kevin Johnson, you're talking about a guy with 123 games of experience. A career 32% shooter from bonus land. Might be getting into a rhythm.
He's been the leading scorer during this run, averaging 10 points a game. Team high 25 3-pointers made. Matt Williams from the free throw line.
Not really known as a guy that will score off the bounce. You can see Kyle Washington huffing and puffing a little bit, walking up the floor. He's had to do yeoman's work inside with Taco Fall.
10-point lead for Cincinnati. They're trying to extend it. Taco Fall is a board away from getting 10 rebounds in this basketball game. There's plenty of time left. Taylor out of control, can't hit the jumper. You're right. Clark keeps getting some wide open looks. This time he's going to hit just inside the arc. That's the part of his game, Gary Clark, that he's gotten a whole lot better in the offseason. The junior really worked on his three-point shooting.
Yeah, he's on my all unsung team in the American Conference. Now, Matt Williams can make that.
He likes just about every spot on the floor.
Well, the Bearcats have had a lot of success from bonus land tonight. But in the second half, it's been Kevin Johnson, not once, but twice. Bearcats on top.
Number 11, Cincinnati, trying to make it 15 in a row. They lead UCF 44-32, and that would set up a huge matchup in the American on Sunday. We have it for you at 4 p.m. as Cincinnati and SMU in a top 25 matchup face off against one another, Mark, for the second time this season.
Yeah, I think number one seed in the tournament's at stake. The conference title is at stake. It's just an outstanding game. The first game was played at such a high level. The atmosphere will be electric. Moody Magic hoping to be alive and well.
Right now, though, the Bearcats trying to take care of those pesky Knights. They have led by as many as 15, but no matter what's happened, it seems like the Knights keep finding a way to get themselves back into the basketball game as they go right into the paint. And Kyle Washington, who had a big start, he's added to his total. He's got 14 now in the contest.
Don't tell me that Kyle Washington didn't know that Taco Fall was not in the game. Caught it with both feet in the paint, jumped up and shot it with confidence.
Cincinnati showing pressure again. Matt Williams, dangerous pass, but Cumberland can't pull it down.
Watch where Washington catches the ball inside. If we can hold it right there, look how deep he is. Nice little jump hook by the left-hander.
Big difference working against Chad Brown at 6'9" and Taco Fall at 7'6".
Chad Brown has been a wonderful complement to Taco Fall. If you threw their two numbers together, they're averaging 17.8 and 14 boards. Very rarely are they on the floor at the same time, so those numbers are legit.
Fall back on the floor, they feed him, and he's got the jam, and he's in double figures now with 10 points. A board away from a double-double.
Bernie, it seems like every time you're ready for Cincinnati to kind of run away, the Knights won't allow it. Taco Fall won't allow it. Back to the zone.
These are two top 3 teams in the country as far as field goal defense. Washington knew that Fall was there, and
so
they got to Gary Clark with a lot of space, and you see what a difference Taco Fall makes when he's not even around you.
No question. He just changes the game.
They try to feed Taco Fall, and Washington's going to be called for the foul.
You have to remember, Kyle Washington is a big guy. He's 6'9" and 230. But when he's standing next to Taco Fall, you can easily see the difference in height.
Second foul on Washington. B.J. Taylor feeds Taco Fall. They double team him, and they're able to knock the ball loose. That's what they said. When the ball gets into Taco, we really want to swarm him.
And swarm they did.
12.5 to play. It's Cincinnati by 12. Washington, outside look, rebounded by A.J. Davis.
Cumberland has been really quiet tonight. Really hasn't gotten into the flow. Here's an and one.
Count the basket for A.J. Davis.
Well, Well, I've gotten on Davis a couple of times for his judgment with the basketball, but watch as he slices between defenders right there. Check out the number of players all around A.J. Davis, and yet he's able to finish inside. Wonderful job.
Scored in double figures in 4 of the last 7 games. He missed the first 5 because of a hand injury, and sometimes people really discount how important those couple of practices you get in October leading into the season can be, and just getting you off to a good start and a groove.
And he did not have that, as you mentioned. He's had a hard time finding his groove.
Clark called for his first personal.
And Nathan Lang trying to give B.J. Taylor just a couple of minutes on the bench.
A.J. Davis, bad mistake there. Gave it back to Cincinnati.
Yeah, he threw that pass. Now both teams are playing giveaway. I think sometimes your worst turnover is after you've just gotten a turnover.
Lang picked up his dribble. A.J. Davis at midcourt with 10 to shoot. Taco Fall comes out to set the pick, and now they feed it to him, and that's how easy it is for Taco Fall.
Doesn't need a lot of room. That time Davis put it in the spot that only Taco Fall could go get.
A 6 for 6 night for Taco Fall. The big man getting some new tools here in his sophomore season. Three-point look on the outside, too strong for Cumberland, who's had a quiet night.
Nice job by Matt Williams. Long shots means long rebounds, means guards have to get involved. And here are the Knights again, Bernie.
Three-point look on the outside, it is good.
Banyard, who has just 12 points in his last 7 games. Shot that with confidence.
He's a 40% three-point shooter. The Knights, they're on a 9-0 run, and they've got it back down to 5. Cumberland feeds Gary Clark, and finally Clark with just his second basket of the contest from the field.
You could sense that Clark kind of mentally said, you know what, I'm just going to catch this and shoot it in rhythm. And if Fall blocks it, he blocks it.
A.J. Davis cuts into the lane, floats it up, and rebounded by Kyle Washington. Justin Jennifer kicked it out. 10 to shoot, baseline Clark. Rebounded by Taco Fall. He's got a double-double with 12 points, 10 rebounds. His 10th of the season. Playing with some high dribbles. Fall kicked it out. And they clear it out for Lang. He tried to get it to Fall, but instead passed it right to Kyle Washington. They pass it ahead to Cumberland. Count the basket, but it's been taco time in the second half.
Bernie, this might be the tallest pick and roll in the country. 6'9" to 7'6", and the Knights just will not go away.
Cincinnati scored the first 9. That's the difference with 8:55 to play in the contest, and it has been a battle of 2 elite big men in this one, Mark.
Taco Fall with a double-double. Kyle Washington with a double-double. Both wear the number 24, and they have gone head-to-head, block-to-block for most of this game. Washington getting a breather. We talked about Taco Fall and his need to play a lot of minutes. A year ago, he played 17 minutes a game. This year, he's playing 27.
He's played 24 minutes tonight. Cumberland with a three-point play.
A change of defense on the zone press. A different look.
The Knights, who trailed by 9 right away and in the blink of an eye to begin this basketball game, they've got it as close as 5. They trailed by as many as 15 as they feed it into Taco Fall. And tonight, after the Bulls and Warriors battle on ESPN, don't miss SportsCenter at night with Stan and Neil. They'll have highlights from the NBA, NHL, college basketball, and everywhere else. SportsCenter at night on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. Trey Scott with 3 fouls now for Cincinnati. It's a Bearcat team. They don't foul a lot. Taco Fall backing him down, kicks it out to A.J. Davis, and he lost it down the lane as Moore gets the steal in the other way. Evans can't hit the layup, rebounded by UCF.
Well, that's one you've got to finish.
Now Williams swarming him in the corner. If there's a player on UCF that can get this deficit cut quickly, it's Matt Williams.
That's a good cut by B.J. Taylor. Take what the defense gives you.
And Taylor gets the basket. He's
Crafty.
in double figures now with 10.
Crafty finish by the point guard. Left-handed off the window.
B.J. Taylor in double figures, 15 of 17 games now. Three-point look on the outside for Jennifer.
Again, UCF pretty resilient tonight. Knights have only committed the 1 foul. That could come into play down the stretch.
A.J. Davis will draw the foul. It'll take us to a timeout. UCF looking for their first win against Cincinnati all time, but it's the Bearcats leading 51-43.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2017 John R. Wooden Player of the Year. And Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here.
Seven minutes to play here inside Fifth Third Arena in Cincinnati, clinging to a 51-43 advantage over UCF. Much improved this season. First-year head coach Johnny Dawkins really has the Knights clicking.
This is a team that goes to the free throw line a lot, 25 times a night in league play. But in the last 2 games, it's even been more than that. They've gone to the free throw line, catch this, 62 times. That's the good news. The bad news is they've only made 52%. Tonight, they're not getting to the free throw line, but they're making a better percentage. And Cincinnati just doesn't put you to the free throw line.
A.J. Davis at the free throw line, jinxed him there. They're now 8 of 10. Davis is 65% free throw shooter. Last season, Davis got to the free throw line 122 times. This season, just 74.
What did Johnny Dawkins tell us today about A.J. Davis? That he's in a completely different role than he was a year ago. He's had to adjust some.
Obviously, the biggest difference for the Knights, they got B.J. Taylor back in the lineup. Getting their leading scorer back has been huge. As you see Moore, that's an important bucket for Cincinnati.
He just turned around and shot it immediately with confidence. Quadri Moore, playing more minutes lately.
A.J. Davis takes it across midcourt. The Knights have cut it to a 5-point deficit, but haven't been able to do any more digging than that. 8 to shoot. Taco Fall way far out, kicks it back out. This is B.J. Taylor, 3 to shoot. Taylor with 2 to shoot down the lane, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. B.J. Taylor thought that he drew a foul, but instead it's going to go as a Knight turnover.
Again, another UCF miscue there, 15th.
It's been the story this season for UCF. They've got to do a better job down the stretch of taking care of the basketball. Clark trying to get going in the paint. He's got 8 points now, just his 3rd field goal of the contest.
It was all about the ball fake. Taco Fall bit, couldn't recover.
Cincinnati up 11. They've led by as many as 15. 5.5 to play as they look to win their 15th this season at home.
Numbers.
And the other way, Jacob Evans draws the foul.
Well, if you want to draw Taco Fall away from the basket, why not utilize the ball fake? Gary Clark does that, uses the rim as extra protection, and gets to the other side of the basket before Taco Fall can recover.
Well, you know, Clark, he's tall too, 6'8".
Right. Right. Evans has had a very quiet night. He's coming off a game against UConn when he did not score. Has had some struggles shooting in the last 4 games.
The Bearcats trying to make it 15 straight wins and win their 23rd straight at home.
Yeah, the target keeps getting bigger, doesn't it?
They're trying to go to 8-0 all time against UCF. These two teams had met only one time prior to Cincinnati and UCF joining the American. That was back in 1983.
This is a danger zone for UCF, I feel like. Kind of their last stand.
Cincinnati with a 13-point advantage with 5 minutes to play. B.J. Taylor floats it up. Tipped up out of bounds, last touch by the Knights. It'll be Bearcats basketball.
Well, the game changer in this game, I think, and the reason UCF has been able to stay within arm's length of Cincinnati has been the zone. It really has changed the complexion of the game. That's a careless ball handling mistake by Washington.
Matt Williams blocked by Jacob Evans.
Well, that's the beauty of this Cincinnati team. I talk about diversity of winning. How diverse can your team beat another team? Can you beat the team on offense? Can you beat them on defense? Can you beat them on both ends? Can you beat them with your depth and different players stepping up? That's the beauty of Cincinnati basketball this year. A very diverse team who can beat you in a multitude of ways. Well,
they've had the answer tonight every time UCF has climbed back within it. The Knights got it down to 5. Cincinnati now on an 11-3 run. The Knights are running out of time with 4.5 to play to make another run. They feed the big man, and Taco Fall triple teamed and tied up inside, and the possession arrow favors Cincinnati.
But who was the guy that got back in there and dug out that jump ball opportunity? Yeah, that guy. Kyle Washington, who has done just a little bit of everything tonight.
And Washington floats it up down low, and Taco Fall there. A.J. Davis kicks it out. 4 minutes to play. Rebounded by Gary Clark. And Spaniard can't hit.
I thought this was a game where Cincinnati might get caught looking ahead, but their start was so fast to the game. Maybe it came too easy, too early.
Clark extended his range in the offseason, but can't hit there. But with 3.5 to play, the Knights are running out of time. B.J. Taylor, an important basket there.
He just jammed it to the basket. Didn't have numbers. I love the challenge. I love his confidence.
Chance for Cincinnati to milk the clock. Down to 10 to shoot. And 3:05 in the game. Washington on the outside, and a big rebound for Gary Clark. He's been getting offensive board after offensive board tonight. He's got 3 offensive rebounds in this basketball game. As a team, Cincinnati's got 10. That's usually what the Knights are so good at doing. A floater for Cumberland.
It's almost like young freshmen. Welcome to Mr. Falls World inside.
Cincinnati 2.5 away from moving to 11-0 in the American. Up by 11.
Brendan Fitzgerald back in studio. Coming up next, we go out to the Pac-12. California riding the bubble. They take on Arizona State and Tempe. Chance to see Ivan Rabb, top 10 rebounder in the country. Bernie, back to you.
Well, big matchup in the Pac-12 coming up here in the American. Undefeated Cincinnati leading 57-46. And I know you're looking forward to that Pac-12 matchup, getting a chance to see Cal next.
Yeah, when you take a look at Cal's resume, they are definition of on the bubble. They had the one quality win at USC. I'm not so sure any loss to San Diego State is a bad loss. But Joe Lunardi has them in that last 4 in. But here's what I want everybody to pay attention to. The game is at Arizona State. Roy Philpott, Brad Daugherty. You've got to watch the open to this game tonight. You're going to be in for a treat. Not going to tell you what it is. Just remember that the game is at Arizona State.
Already got their Mark Wise here in Cincinnati. Yeah. Johnny Dawkins, Knights. They have battled the #1 team in the American tonight, but they just have not been able to get over the hump.
Well, I think that's progress for this program. They did not stay like this with Cincinnati or the higher teams in the American a season ago. Miscue by Evans on the giveaway. You could see and read Mick Cronin's lips. What's your hurry?
Yeah, they're 2 minutes and 16 seconds away from their 22nd win. That's only Cincinnati's 5th turnover. To contrast, 16 turnovers by UCF. Taco Fall with the right hand, palming it, if you will.
Yes, a little Connie Hawkins.
Taco Fall's got 14. Back to a single-digit deficit, but there's just 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining. Taco Fall a perfect 7 for 7 from the field tonight.
We're back to that 9-0 start by Cincinnati to begin the game.
Jacob Bevins, 3-point basket in the corner. He's in double figures now with 11.
That could be a big basket for Evans come Sunday at SMU. A little bit of a confidence builder.
He's now scored in double figures 21 of 24 games this season. How about Cincinnati? Is this a team that could end the streak? The last time they made it to the Final Four, 1992, 25 years ago. They got a lot of tools this year, Mark.
Again, they're very diverse in how they can win games. They've got great depth. They've got a guy off the bench in Cumberland who can give them an offensive spark. There are a lot of ingredients, and Mick Cronin has done a fabulous job of taking the pieces of the puzzle and making a pretty picture.
Washington came down with a rebound. And Thursday, what a big-time rivalry week doubleheader we've got for you on ESPN at 8. It's the 2017 version of the Battle for Tobacco Road. Number 8 North Carolina and number 18 Duke. Then after we're done at Cameron Indoor, we'll send you out to Pauley Pavilion for number 5 Oregon and number 10 UCLA. Both Sonic blockbusters are also streaming live on the ESPN and Watch ESPN app.
Pretty strange to see 4 ranked teams in that doubleheader, and Duke is the lowest of those 4 at 18. Well, not always frameable, but any way you cut it for Cincinnati, it's 11-0. It's 22-2.
And 23 straight wins at home and 15 straight wins this season. Number 11 Cincinnati They survive. Another win at home. A 60-50 win over the UCF Knights.
Again, Mick Cronin will be pleased with the victory. And now all eyes in the American, in the country on the Sunday can turn to the Cincinnati SMU game. Oh, but I'm ahead of myself. SMU's got to win at Temple tomorrow night as well.
23 straight wins. Washington leading the way for Cincinnati with 14 tonight. They scored the first 9. They win by 10. Our final score, Cincinnati 60, UCF 50. Now we'll send you to Brandon Fitzgerald and Dino Gaudio in the studio in Charlotte.
Thank you very much, Bernie. A 10-point win at home for the Bearcats. And the home